when we open the we got
there was no sound that whole time.
Oh, nice. Nice.
See, this is the problem. This is the problem. This is the problem with this is the problem that I deal with on a daily basis.
I love it.
I deal with this issue.
I love it.
Where I'm constantly
awesome.
Like pressing things that I shouldn't.
Go in the comments. I guarantee.
Look at this. If I had just paid attention.
Sorry. We're so sorry. We're so sorry. We love you. We really do. We did that was a beautiful spiel we just did.
That typically my best spiels are when I'm muted.
That's awesome.
And that goes to show you that just like my life, we're gonna have some fun.
That's right.
And it's a little bit of a mess, but it's a good time.
Right.
What I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by the microphone was, guys, become a member of the Patreon while it's so cheap. It's only $5. How's everyone doing tonight? We got Jack, Jesus. By the way, Jesus is here tonight. Caden's here. Nick Flicks. This one, Boniface Oink. How do I pronounce that last name?
I'm not even going to attempt it because I'm going to disrespect you if I do. But thank you for joining us. We appreciate you.
Guys, we did get a little Aquaman tease today from the Snyder Cut, so we are going to talk about that. Definitely, the audio needs to be on in order to do that. But before we waste any more of your time, and we look like more of an idiot combination, let's get the people in here.
That's right.
First off, Jack, what's up? You didn't want to call us and let us know? No one could hear us?
I was in the private chat trying to tell you.
Oh, there's five of them.
And Marcel, we're both trying to get him.
Oh, we got one from Marcel too. Oh man,
he's like, bro, look at these idiots.
He's never coming back.
Look at these dumb motherfuckers.
We just ruined it. He'll never come back.
No, again, if you've ever been around here, you know that happens to me at least once a week. because I try to silence myself so that you can't hear me say something maybe that I'm just talking to him, and then I forget, right? Because you get a little nervous, but no, it's okay. Welcome, Marcel. How you doing, man? Thanks for trying to warn us about that.
You know what? It's all good. It happens to the best of us sometimes.
It just keeps happening to me, though. So I must be the best. So
the best top flight security of the world, Craig.
We're really excited to be here, man. I do want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. It truly, it means a lot to me. We've been blessed with nothing but good people, good guests, and fun conversations. So thank you for being a part of that, man.
That's right.
I mean, listen, thank you guys for having me. I greatly appreciate it.
Of course. I like the background thing. Is it a rug? Some people have rugs like that I see hanging.
It's just something my girlfriend threw up on the wall for some color. I think it's a scarf. I think it's a scarf.
It's a big ass scarf.
See, I'm telling you, people hang up some cool things like rugs,
it's just
scarves.
a random scarf.
Yeah.
I could, don't give me the line. I have no idea.
Yeah. Like Nick Flick says, hit the like button. It helps the YouTube bot algorithm.
That's right.
Again, thank you for joining us. So I think maybe we could start with I've been doing this lately, and I like how it works. Maybe we could start with like a little bit of an icebreaker. Who's your favorite DC character? I mean, you work for Warner Brothers, so let's keep it, I guess, DC related. But who's your favorite?
That's a good question.
It is a good question, and everyone always usually pauses for it.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, Batman, maybe. I don't know.
I might have to say I like Black Lightning.
Woo!
Okay.
Okay.
I like Black Lightning a lot, but you know what? It's between him. It's between. You know what? It's Static Shock. I gotta go Static Shock.
I love Static.
Love Static.
Love Static.
And Static's in the work right now, as we
heard.
know. I'm interested to see what they do with that character because most people know Static Shock from the animated cartoon.
Yeah, that's where I found him.
And I didn't know up until recently that it crossed over with Batman the Animated Series on multiple occasions.
Yes, also
which
Batman
I never
Beyond.
knew.
I'm gonna have to fire up HBO Max and watch that because I don't remember that either.
Yeah.
No,
multiple occasions.
Yes.
He was either on the animated series or it was vice versa.
Yep.
And it when he showed it to me, I was like, why don't I remember any of this?
Yeah, he did.
Because it was a later episodes when they started doing the Batman Superman adventures.
Exactly.
I think it was in that one.
It was
which is
leading into
technically the
Justice
same
League.
show, but
Yes, it was at the time when they were leading into Justice League, and they also had put him in. That's hilarious. They had put him in Batman Beyond as well, and that was a dope episode. You guys should check that out if you haven't seen it. It was
Very
good.
much. So maybe you could just walk us a little bit through how you've gotten to where you are now. Maybe your life and career up to this point, how you got the job that you have now, and what it entailed in the original. Like, how did you start in this industry?
Yes.
Oh man. For me, I've kind of started a little bit everywhere. I'm born and raised in Detroit. So I kind of got my start in the entertainment industry working for the Detroit Pistons. I was there during the championship years, the 03-04 championship years. I was on the court for Malice at the Palace working.
Oh,
okay.
Crazy night.
Okay.
Very, very vivid memories. And then from there, I started working in music. Worked at Universal Music Group. They had an office not too far from Detroit that I worked at, and managing artists. And after that, I became a journalist. I've been a professional journalist for about 14 years now. So all of that definitely helped, and to build my foundation in social media.
Right.
And honestly, this job that I have now, I went on the Warner Media website. I saw it. I applied for it in January of 2020 and never heard anything back. So I just forgot all about it. I'm like, you apply for something online, your resume goes into the ether. Where it's at.
Yeah.
Somewhere over dark side somewhere. But you gotta get the mother bosses in order to get your resume through.
Yeah,
that's right.
But I got a call back in April, and here I am.
Right.
So honestly, just applying and not giving up, and before here I used to work at marketing agency type work and stuff. So
yeah.
Okay.
So
and you picked a heck of a year to do it too.
My God. Yeah.
Man.
So I think what most people would want to know is, all right, so your title is the social manager. I always kind of mess it up. Social manager for all HBO Max originals.
Yes, I'm one of the associate social managers for Matt's Original. So all of our Matt's Original titles, those are the ones that I normally work on.
Okay. And now that includes, because it didn't before, when these shows were on DC Universe, now it's Titans, Doom Patrol. I wish it was still Swamp Thing because I'm a huge Swamp Thing fan, but Swamp Thing got the bad treatment and got the axe before they even saw what the audience reaction was going to be, which is disappointing to me because, like I said, I thought the character was done so well and it had something special in the show, which I wish it came over, but it's not. So that includes those. So what about, because the Snyder Cut is technically an HBO Max original.
Yeah, it is a Max original.
So have you dabbled with anything with it?
I am working on the social campaign. So
right. How has that been? Because and I'm not trying to like be abrupt or be say anything maybe I shouldn't. It's just HBO Max has done a great job at handling the interaction with fans online. It's done a great job of promoting the Snyder Cut, whereas Warner Brothers has kind of stayed away from it. And was that the game plan from the original? Was that always the game plan that you guys would kind of handle it yourselves amongst yourself, your team, and Zach, or like was this just something that was just kind of last minute? Like it seems like there's just a kind of a disarray with the marketing for Zach's Justice League.
Well, I don't know that I would say that Warner Brothers is staying away from it. No one's staying away from anything. We have our own handles that we market the Snyder Cut out of, but that we run our promotions out of. But everybody across the company is super excited for this movie. Everybody is doing what they can to promote the movie from AT&T down, because it's going to be the streaming event of the year, maybe the decade.
I'd say of all time. I know streaming is kind of young right now, but I'd say that this film is definitely the film. It's just going to change the way maybe things happen, or change the way for creative freedom is expressed with studio involvement. And I just think that a lot of things are going to change after either the success or failure of the Snyder Cut. Yeah. And I'm hoping it's the success.
Well, it's a beautiful thing that we have streaming, because now it allows for more, like you said, more creative freedom, right? There's more space, right? The numbers on streaming are just as big as theatrical, right? So now you have a space. Now, not only can you put things in theaters, but you can also put them on streaming. And I would imagine, I'm not the expert, but I would imagine it saves companies money putting it on a streaming service, right? So they're more inclined to do it. They're more inclined to let an artist make their art, right? And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Definitely.
Marcel, I want to ask you something. I'm always kind of curious how the relationship works between like a reveal and social media. May 20th is when Snyder, did the whole, he revealed that the Snyder Cut was coming. Are you guys made aware ahead of time that that's going to happen, or was it something that you were told after the fact? Like, okay, we're doing this when you guys start making posts, or did they tell you well ahead of time, be ready May 20th?
Well, I can't really speak to any of those details, but when you have something of this magnitude that's coming, people have to be dialed in order just to make sure that it all goes all smoothly. Right. And just to make sure that not for us, but everything that we do is fan service. We do this for the fans,
Yeah.
And that's the business that we're in, talent, you have your talent, you make your talent happy, of course, but the fans are what we do it for. So people need to be clued in to make sure that the fans have the best experience, and even finding out that the movie is coming.
Sure.
Were you guys surprised by how big it has gotten, especially in the last few months when the trailer started? Because like people all over the world are like, the ones where HBO Max isn't, they're like, where is it? What is HBO Max? Were you guys kind of surprised by that?
You know, I honestly I can't say that I'm surprised, because the fans, all the associate producers are some of the best fans that I've ever seen. Like, just they're diehard. They believe in this movie. They believe in Zach. They believe in the vision. They're gonna make sure that this is the streaming event of the year, and those are the type of fans you want.
Yeah.
I like,
no matter what I do, I hope that whatever I work on, I have these type of fans for everything.
That's right.
right.
That's right.
I think, you know what I really like that you just said is that you called them called us associate producers, which is it's a really good, like, I've never heard anyone say it like that, like from a studio perspective, or like anything like coming from. So that was actually really nice, by the way. Nice little touch. I dig it.
Listen, you guys did the work. You guys made this dream a reality, and now we get to share this reality with the world on the 18th. So you guys deserve just as much credit, if not all the credit, most of the credit, whatever the case may be. You guys deserve an equal amount of credit for making this happen. So, we're definitely, putting on a campaign that we're trying to make all of you guys proud.
That's right. I can tell you right now, everybody watching is shaking in their boots because a Warner Brothers employee just said that they're the biggest reason. They're the reason the movie happened. They're all hyped at home. I know they are. They get excited. They get excited.
So you said you started in 2020. So this is a relatively new job for you. So, I mean, it's nice. I'm very glad that, you are where you are now. But coming from a journalistic background, is it been a change of, like, do you miss the journalism side of things? Like, do you miss like the day-to-day of journalism?
No.
Listen,
I've always done the journalistic part of things. I do that now as kind of like a freelancer. So, right. But like being 14 years into it, I'm extremely picky and choosy on what I do. Okay. A lot of what I do is music journalism. I'm an extremely opinionated person. It's extremely fun running the Doom Patrol account, but it's really, at the end of the day, it's so closely aligned to just who I am. It becomes second nature sometimes.
Right.
But just I kind of take that approach to my album reviews and things like that. So I've run the gamut of coming across so many stories and doing so many things. So I'm extremely picky when it comes to what I pick up the pen to write about these things, because none of the outlets are paying. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
And it has to be worth my time in order for me to write something. So no, I definitely don't miss that day-to-day hustle of being a permalancer or a full-time freelancer. That hustle and the net 30, net 90-day payouts and
right.
I don't miss it, but I miss the creativity, and I miss not the creativity, because this job allows me to I can take that same passion for writing and I can put it in all of the copywriting that we do, all of the responses and the community management that I get to do. So I get to transfer those skills in a very tangible way.
Right. So I had a question about, and I don't know if you know exactly what happened. So what happened with the Doom Patrol finale? So they were supposed to, and this is something I can't figure out. Was there supposed to be another episode of that?
COVID happened, unfortunately.
That's what it was, right? Because I was like, Doom Patrol, like, it's such a great show. It's done so well, and it's so good. Like, I am so surprised at how great it actually is. I mean, I guess I'm not surprised, but I am. But it seemed like it ended before it was supposed to. And I've heard rumors online that, they shut down production and they just never finished it. But I was like, then they ended the season. They didn't like say, okay, we're going to delay it for a little bit. So they just ended the season. They said, we'll pick it up next season 3. We'll finish that storyline.
Well, I can't get into what that storyline is.
I'm not asking that as a question.
Spoiler alert there.
Yeah. I'm not asking that as a question. I'm like, it's more of a statement. So at least that's what I think would happen. But I just wanted to make sure so COVID was the reason that they stopped, right?
Yeah. Things got so out of control with COVID. And I mean, this has honestly been since, the beginning of COVID, Warner Media has been super, super big about keeping all of us safe. and giving us the freedom to work from wherever we need to work to be safe. So yeah, like and that extends out to our productions. So when all of this went down, the company put safety first.
That's awesome.
You said you came into Warner Brothers April of last year, correct? 2020.
Yeah.
So it was directly after COVID got real, right? Right. It happened in March. So when you first started working there, things must have been just hectic and out of control.
Well, so I still haven't met any of my coworkers yet. Everything has been online right here through this laptop. I've met two or three of my coworkers on a lot one day, but outside of that, I haven't met anyone else. Like, and it's the same for the rest of my coworkers for the most part, because we've all kind of been onboarded during the pandemic. Yeah, that's just the nature of our new reality.
Either. I've never met these guys either.
Yeah, we're on the same boat. I mean,
let me ask you this. Go ahead, Justice.
Sorry, I was just gonna say there's ups and downs to this whole Corona thing, right? Because you had mentioned before, you get to work from home, you're comfortable, you get to do your thing. You're not in a space, you're home, you're in a nice, comfortable space. You can do what you need to do. But on the same coin, we're suffering content-wise. We're suffering, you almost lose some social skills because you're not in the office anymore. So there's really the ups and downs to the.
Did they freeze?
Yeah, I think they froze right there for a minute.
Oh, geez. Something must have happened because they have a really good system up there. But let me ask you a quick question. I was going to ask you about COVID.
Yeah.
We've always heard rumors about the Snyder Cut. It's coming. It's not coming. Do you know if COVID was like sort of the straw that broke the camel's back? Because, you have production shutting down, film, cinema, everything shutting down. Was that sort of the final straw that, like, okay, we need something new and we have this movie sitting on a shelf? Or was it going to come out regardless of COVID?
I'm not sure. I can't honestly speak to. I'm not quite sure. I can't imagine that, such a big decision would just be made so knee jerk. But it's just a little bit. That's just a little bit above the pay grade.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's been so crazy, since the announcement came in May. All of a sudden, 2020 changed for me and for a lot of fans. All of a sudden, it wasn't like, yes, we're going through tough times, it's hard, but every time you're like, yep, it's coming, it's real, and it's so hard to imagine. I think so. They told me something happened. Okay, so it's just going to be you and me, this is the first time I showed it myself. I'm going to change all the logos and everything. So, folks, if you're watching, they had a technical issue up there in Boston. So we're right here in Philly. They will be back.
And this is now Jack's corner.
I'm
sorry, Jack.
No longer Jack's corner.
Not anymore.
I may have. So I have a Mac Mini, and I may have just knocked it off the table. So
I can neither confirm nor deny what just happened there.
Oh God, that's so embarrassing. This has been.
You guys missed it. He told me everything that's going to happen in Justice League, all the spoilers, everything.
You guys missed every spoiler.
I went to reach for a pen, and I just knocked it all the way off the table. That was awesome.
Chaos magic, baby.
Woo! All right.
Good old chaos magic.
Yeah. Speaking of that, have you been watching WandaVision? I know you work for Warner Brothers, but do you watch any of other shows?
I'm a big fan of the genre itself. I love comic book movies. I watch all of them, no matter how stupid or great I think it's going to be. I'm going to watch it. Like I'll watch all of those goofy original X-Men movies 1,000 times because I love the genre.
That's right. I feel honestly, there's like I have a requirement to go, right? Even if I know it's gonna suck, because that's happened to me a couple of times, but I still went. I paid the money, I went, because it's my duty as a nerd. I have to do it, right?
Exactly. I'd be planning myself. I'd be lying to my inner child. Like I have to go see these movies.
That's right. So let me ask you something real quick. And now I'm terrible at this, so if you can't answer, don't even. But if you had a fan cast static, who would you pick?
Why couldn't you fan cast?
I'm terrible at it. I'm so bad at it. I spend an hour.
I had to cast static.
I don't even know who I would pick.
It depends. How old is the kid from Blackish now? How old is the son from Blackish?
Ooh.
Not the older son, but the middle one.
Oh, I'm not sure. I haven't had cable.
He could be, depending on how old he is, he could be a good casting.
Okay.
Jaden Smith might actually be.
That's what I was just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Jaden Smith might be able to pull that off.
I don't know. Jaden's nothing like his father. He's really not. He's really not. Jaden's disappointed me on several occasions. You would think it's Will Smith's kid. You would think this kid's a legend. Yeah.
Hey, listen, that Jaden is out here doing whatever he wants to do.
Literally whatever he wants to do, and that's
Will
I
Smith's
think
kid.
that's what it boils down to.
Yeah. Will Smith's kid. That's how that goes.
And Will Smith is in the DCEU, so
technically.
Yeah.
True.
technically, yeah.
That's true. That's a good question, though. I'm not sure who I want to play Static. Dang, I'd have to really think about that.
Okay, maybe next time you come, you give me an answer for that one. I'll come with an answer too. We'll see.
So I'm looking for one of these fan questions. So maybe someone.
Yeah, sure.
Real quick. I just want to look for one because I got a bunch of them, but I got to sort through them again because everything's just shut off.
Marcel,
I gotta address one of your YouTube comments here from Seals. I can't even pronounce that.
Syllabdul.
Pacers fan. Come on, man.
Pacers
fan. How's that going for you? You all right there?
I had to call him out.
I had to. I saw that. And then Jack Peer, Karate Kid. I definitely picked Karate Kid.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Have you been watching Cobra Kai?
I tried to watch Cobra Kai, but after one episode, I said no thanks. It's so cheesy. It's so much corn.
Yeah,
and I'm sure that was the purpose. That they did it on purpose, but I just couldn't take it. And I'm like, that's too much corn.
The entire decade of the '80s. That sum it up in one word is corn. That's
but you know what? It had a special type of magic to it when it was the original corn. Like I can sit back and I can go watch old house party movies. I mean, this is corny, but I can't turn it off.
You can enjoy it. Yeah,
house party.
But I don't want to see '80s corn in 2020. 2021.
Yeah, you got that. That's a fair point.
Translate.
I'm with you on that one.
Sounds like one of those old rappers who can't get out of the yesteryear. So
they're
47 still rapping like it's 1976. That's what it feels
Bone
like.
Thugs.
I blame Bone Thugs and Arm. I kind of blame Stranger Things. I love Stranger Things, but I think everyone's like, I heard everyone loves the 80s again. We got to keep bringing back stuff from the 80s.
Yeah.
Hashtag Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman 1984, yeah.
But Stranger Things was just done so well.
Yeah.
It's so much attention and care put into that script to make it just the right amount of corn. And then it's also set in that time period too. Cobra Kai is set in 2020 with corn. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. This corn is like 30, 40 years out of
out of date. You gotta update it.
You gotta at least get the Windows 95 corn. Windows NT professional corn or something.
Something. Do something.
Yo, I'm dead. That's awesome. That's good.
Marcel, let me ask you something. You mentioned all the shows that you handle, but it's all live action. Do you ever dabble in the animated section of WB?
I do have control of the Harley Quinn socials as well.
Okay.
So I love that show.
I was gonna say
such an amazing show. That's such an amazing show.
Yeah.
I know I might sound biased because of who signs the paycheck, but hands down, DC has the best animated shows of the two. Hands down. Batman animated series, Static Shock, Harley Quinn.
Marvel's not even close. Like animation wise, Marvel's not even close. And that's how I typically carry myself. I'll watch the live action for Marvel and I watch the animated for DC, and I'm a happy camper just like that. That's actually why I brought it up, because I'm such a fan of the animated, all of it, even the originals, the animated series leading into Justice League, and then their current run of it's more like a new 52 kind of DC.
Yeah,
excellent work.
Yeah.
It's funny. Even the good animated Marvel stuff from the 90s, X-Men and Spider-Man, were made by Fox. It's just ironic.
But even still, you get Disney Plus and I watched like the first season of the old X-Men. I'm like, man, this did not hold up.
The animation is a little dated.
But I go and watch Batman the animated series, and I'm on the edge of my seat like I'm 9 years old again.
That's a true point.
Would you be down with them? So there's been rumors. I don't want you to answer the rumors. I don't want you to answer anything. all I need you to answer is, would you be okay with them continuing the Batman the Animated Series as a revamp, or anything to do with something like that?
Would you watch it?
Would you watch it or like
for
it?
me, just my personal take, I don't like reboots.
Mhm.
It's like that existed and it was a special thing for that time period for a reason. Do something new for the new generation so that it can carry 30, 40 years like our version did.
That's right.
Yeah.
But if you just keep rehashing,
Yep.
The same things over and over and over again, it's boring. No one's telling new stories.
Yeah.
That's damn near
as a professional storyteller, that's kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
That's damn near my exact answer. When we first heard about it, we were doing a show at the time, and the three of us had a conversation, and you damn near gave the exact answer I gave. I'm so sick of reboots. I'm so sick of revamps. I'm done with it. It's tired. These people, you can write new stories. I don't get it. That's your job. You get paid to write stories of these characters, and you can't do it. Everything's a reboot. Everything's hit us with nostalgia. Like, I like some nostalgia, but let's pump the brakes.
Keep going and progress the story. It's time for new things.
Yeah. So Caden Reed, so it's at Caden_Reed, asked Marcel, what part of your job do you like the most, and what part of it do you dislike the most? What is something that you do that is surprising to others? That kind of threw me for a loop there.
The part that I like the most is running the Doom Patrol account. Honestly, like it can be. You might see me tweet something at midnight, and it's because I'll just pop on the Doom Patrol account like it's my own account because I can kind of interact. It's kind of similar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, how can I excite the fans today? This to keep them happy about this show. And I mean, the Doom Patrol fans really keep me going. Just to be honest with you, just the way you guys respond to everything, you come out, just it really keeps us going, and it's really the justification for how I have the freedom to control that account in the manner in which it's controlled.
That's how I met you.
Exactly.
I was like, I was like, whoever runs this account, I would definitely like to speak to you further because it's always on point. So you've done a really good job.
Dreams do come true.
Yeah.
Boys and girls, look at that.
Dreams come true. So what's maybe something that you dislike, if anything?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's still work, right? I don't necessarily dislike anything. About it. But every now and then you have your frustration or your pain point, or I'm not the most organized person. No creative is, kind of constraints, and creatives don't normally like those type of things. So
right,
organization is how organized I have to be, how detailed I have to be. Just building out social calendars and things of that nature. Not necessarily my favorite thing, but it's a key part of the job that I don't take lightly.
So let me. I want to give you some props real quick because I'm going to use Doom Patrol as an example specifically. I haven't been watching, so I can't speak clearly on this or whatever. But I know Corona is holding things up as far as production, and I know season 2 has been done for quite a bit. So to be able to keep the hype alive for that entirety while all this is going on, especially Corona. It's one thing if you're just in between seasons and production's going as it's supposed to, but with Corona pumping the brakes on literally everything, it's very hard to keep the hype going. So props to you. And you're handling a lot more than just Doom Patrol. You're doing a couple of shows, so you got to do that exact same thing for all.
Yeah. Snyder Cut, Doom Patrol, Harley Quinn, Titans, Peacemaker.
Ooh, Peacemaker! I can't wait for that.
Close enough. Close enough. It's another one.
So do you ever? Okay, because now what I'm imagining, do you have to meet with, say, James Gunn, right? For Peacemaker. Peacemaker is James Gunn's baby, or it says it's going to be spinning off of his The Suicide Squad. So do you have to formulate a plan with him to so how the show comes across to people or how it interacts with people? You mentioned something about a social calendar. I don't really know what that means. Is it like on this day, we have to promote this part of it, right? Or something like that?
That's pretty much exactly what it is. Okay. It's just a layout of everything, like a blueprint of what we're going to do on social. So this is going to roll out on this day. And it's all strategic, and it all ladders up to our bigger, more overall robust marketing plan.
Right.
You know, social is just a big component of that. You know, especially in the day and age that we are now, social and digital are you know huge. So it's all just a good component of that ladders up.
So let me ask you this: Are you part of creating said blueprint, or are you just the one that handles it and puts it into motion?
So no, I'm also part of people who create said blueprint. So one of my biggest things that I love to do. So for every title that I'm assigned, I sit down and I create a persona of who is going to be running this handle.
Interesting.
So you know, you get online and you see some brands and all they do is just regurgitate marketing lines and slogans and throw pictures and videos at you and marketing speak, and it has no personality. That shit is awful. That shit sucks.
Yeah.
Right.
It's awful. It's boring.
I agree.
So everything that we do is fan first, fan centric, and I take the approach of how no one likes to be marketed to. It's very easy to tell when you're being marketed to, and it's very easy to tell what to ignore because it's marketing. So I take a look at it as how would I like to be marketed to.
Right.
And when I'm on Twitter's all about conversation.
Yes, it is.
So I create a persona based around the type of person that will be having conversations about this show. Sometimes it's loosely based on a character from that show or the ensemble of the show or just general vibe from the show. So in that response, I do study the director and their vision, the cast. If it's a show that has a particular character that I think would just play very well on social, then I will mold the personality loosely based off that person.
Oh,
and so I do everything. I create. Is it a man? Is it a woman? Okay. Everything. Their age, their race, their background.
So it's a straight persona.
It's like an FBI portfolio of someone. And so much to the point where I can kind of envision what they would look like in my head, and I tweet and I post and I write copy as that person.
Yeah, the creative process is I love hearing it. I always do. I love hearing it. Honestly, myself, I see a lot of myself in you. A lot of things you've been saying, I've been really clicking with me. I'm getting a lot from this. I appreciate that.
That's so interesting. So how did you go about the Snyder Cut one? If you don't mind me asking, let's take the Doom Patrol one. I know exactly how it comes off because it's come off on me, right? Where I was like, this is awesome. Like whoever's behind this knows exactly how to market Doom Patrol because you, like you said, studied the show or watched the show. You took a character. I couldn't pinpoint. Is it a certain character that Doom Patrol?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Okay.
I'm actually interested to hear your guess.
Okay, because it sounds like it would be Cliff, but I don't know because there's so many characters in the show that it could be that. Like when I hear certain things, it reminds me of like maybe a joke Cliff would make, like very like it's Cliff's the robot man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we got to get you to watch. We got to get you to watch Doom Patrol.
I know, bro. He won't watch Titans either. He's like, hey, Starfire. Starfire's a black girl. I'm not watching it because she's not green.
Look,
what? Listen, that's his point.
Nothing makes me more angry.
He's an alien.
Exactly. So why is she black? She's an alien. She's not even human.
Because we don't have real aliens walking around and play the role. So someone has to play the role.
Look, Marcel, in my own defense, right? Nothing frustrates me more than when they take characters and turn them into black people. When I know damn right well, there's an abundance of black characters that you can make stories about and put them in the show. And a perfect example, Static Shock could have been in Titans. Why not just put him in Titans? Starfire has orange skin. She's not white. She's not black. Her skin's orange and her eyes are green. She's an alien, and it just bothers me. It really bothers me.
So I understand where you're coming from. I don't agree, but I understand where you're coming from. And to the extent that I feel you in the sense that I don't need someone to force a character to be black when there's so many black characters you can focus on already. That right there, I 100% agree with you. For example, I don't personally need to see a black James Bond. I don't care to see a black James Bond. Just make a movie. Just make an original movie about a black guy.
Yeah.
He's a super spy.
That is-
There it is.
It doesn't have to be James Bond. We can have our own thing. We don't listen.
Right.
I don't need to be shoehorned in. I don't need to be shoehorned into anything. You know.
And
Yeah.
space
We can stand on our own.
Yeah, that's right, and that's basically
And
interesting point that
And then
Rasha just made.
what Rasha just said is if I'm not mistaken, it's true, actually. So
Actually,
if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember.
the original Starfire was
I think
modeled
she's
on the
referring-
features of a
I think
black
she's referring
woman.
to back in the 70s because Starfire she had very curly hair and she was very
but
I don't know how to say that without
yeah, no,
sounding
you
some
don't
type
you
of-
don't even have to say it.
I do want to address the other part of what you said too.
Of course.
And that diversity and inclusion is extremely important. Representation 100% matters, you know.
That's right.
And it's extremely important for the generations under us coming up to be able to turn on a TV and see themselves in a wide range of things, you know.
That's right. Absolutely.
Well, you know, so they can see themselves as Starfire or Nick Fury from the Marvel movies or the President of the United States or anything, you know, a singer, an actor, a doctor. You know, we haven't always had that level of representation. So to that point, I'm never mad when a person of color is cast in a role that we've only known as traditionally white, because at the end of the day, none of these characters are real. It's just all made up. So it doesn't honestly matter. It shouldn't matter to anyone who plays these characters. Are they great actors? Are they nailing the role?
That's the important part.
Is the script good? Like we're focusing on so many wrong things. It's like why does the color of an alien skin? And I'm not saying it's just to come at you, but you know. And running some of these accounts, I've flipped through this bigotry every day, and it's like my God, the you know, comic book fandom can be toxic, video game fandom can be toxic.
Yeah.
And you know, you look at this, it's like it's an alien. I'm like, does the alien have to be white? Does a white person have to play an alien? It's an alien. Yeah. You can't even play aliens. I can't even be an alien.
Justice wants a real alien to play it, so we got to go to Area 51. Grab a real alien.
A lot of it is, you know, I don't feel there's any genuine. It never
Maybe
feels as if when they do this. I'm going to use Fantastic Four as an example, right? With Michael B. Jordan, I don't feel a genuine. It's because we want representation. It's we want to pander. Right, because
I feel that,
you know, and that's really where the problem is most of the time. I don't feel it's genuine. I feel like it's just their best way to make themselves seem hip and cool and acceptable.
But I
think that sometimes does happen. Maybe
that's how I feel, anyways.
But I do think that you should at least watch a minimum of like 4 episodes before you make a final judgment.
I watched 2.
Yeah,
so you got that. I'll give it 2 more. You got
2 more episodes.
You got a deal.
Give her a chance.
When you're watching Doom Patrol, you got to remember Doom Patrol is slapstick. It's a little bit slapstick, right? It's almost making a mockery of the superhero genre because it's a group of people, it's a group of misfits who never sought out to do this and they were forced into it.
I don't think Doom Patrol he'll have a problem with. I think he'll actually, because that first season was so good, out of this world good. That if anyone said I didn't like Doom Patrol season 1, you're either A, lying, or B, lying, because there's no way. There's no way. But Titans, on the other hand, is where his problem lies.
Titans, for me, I listen. Titans is the type of show. Titans is what I wish Smallville was. Because I mean, I'm old enough to have grown up on Smallville.
I grew up on Smallville.
I'm 36. Titans, like you know, Smallville was soft, right? You know,
it was
soft for me. Titans is real, it's raw, it's dark. It's like Game of Thrones, damn near, and anybody can get it. Anybody can get it, and you've never seen that from a comic book title. And that's what I really appreciate about Titans. It's dark. It's like if the Dark Knight trilogy was made into a television show, but a little bit darker. Where there were actual stages where people actually died in the show, then that's what Titans is. So I give it another chance. Titans is amazing.
Okay. All right. Marcel, I'm gonna watch it again, and I'm gonna go in with that exact what you just gave me, Dark Knight with an R rating.
And that's even if you're not liking it, you could just like do like a stream where you like maybe say why this is maybe because you do have ties to like the Teen Titans show, right? That's that's a show that you love, right? So I can see why you're making comparisons, but maybe you could explain to people like, all right, so this is the part of Titans that I have a problem with because I'm do something like that.
But, of course, absolutely.
Look at this as the Teen Titans are they're not teens no more. They grown and they're going through some real life shit.
Yeah.
So life was coming at them fast.
Yeah, and I appreciate that take on those characters because. Not to make comparisons, you don't really see that on the other side of pushing characters. That's why I love, what Zach did with Batman and Superman. They're like, oh, this is not the traditional guys. He's pushing these characters into uncomfortable positions. And that's where you get good storytelling. That's where you get good characterization, stuff like that. And Doom Patrol, I finished that show in like 3 days. Once it came on HBO Max, I'm like, oh, let me try it now. I didn't have the DC app. And I just went through it and I just finished it in 2 days. I could not stop watching. It is so damn good.
Listen, and this not even speaking, as the voice behind the account. I had never heard of Doom Patrol before I came to this company. So I was like, hey, this is one of your shows. I'm like, all right, cool, let me watch it. I was hooked from the first episode. Like literally, I was hooked from the first episode. And I think those first 2 days, I don't think I did any other work besides watch that show.
Besides watching it. And when I first saw it, I was like, oh, this kind of reminds me of the X-Men. Then I did some research. It turns out the X-Men were kind of loosely based on the Doom Patrol. The Doom Patrol was much older. So I was like, oh, okay.
That's news to me. I did not know that.
Yeah.
So, all right. So persona-wise, I'm still going with Cliff, by the way. I'd like to get
I'll tell you offline who it is.
All right.
There it is.
Exclusivo. Right? That's Dave.
You gotta keep it between us, though.
Of course, never. I don't none of these people, I don't know that. We're not even friends. Just kidding. I love them. I love you. Please pay for us. But the Snyder cut. So how did you approach that one? Because it's not a persona. It's not like Doom Patrol where you could pick a character, create a persona around it, like knowing the story, right? And approach people like that. There's been a specific campaign or marketing style that the Snyder cut has done, not to bring everything back to the Snyder cut, but it's the most relevant thing right now. And I think it's very interesting that you play a little bit of a part in the grand scheme of the thing. So I'm very interested. Sorry to keep bringing it up.
No worries. So the voice and tone for Snyder cut for me is I look at that movie and, I haven't seen it yet. I hear it's amazing. I'm sure it's amazing. It's going to be a masterpiece.
Fire.
It's going to be a masterpiece. But it's 4 hours, right? And you look at just who Zach is as a director and how he tells stories. So approaching those the Snyder Cut handles, they're stoic. Right. They loom over you. They aren't larger than life, but they just have it has that aura about it, that essence. And at the end of the day, they're also diehard APs, right? Because they're just as happy. The Snyder Cut is just as happy. The handle is just as happy that the movie is here.
Right.
Yeah.
So
they're not necessarily. This one isn't necessarily based off of any one person. I kind of did a mashup of Bruce and Clark.
Right.
Okay.
And it's stoic, looming presence.
This is beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful way to go about it. And so what if you had to, because again, I'm assuming you're a fan now of maybe if you didn't even know before, now, what are you most excited? Is there something as an employee that you're excited to see in the movie? Like a storyline, a plot point, character arc, yada, yada.
Honestly, I like when storytellers are able to tell their complete original visions. So I'm just happy to be able to see Zach's original vision as he meant it. That's important. That's important as a storyteller. That's important. So that makes me happy more than anything. Just
very nice.
His vision being able to come to life for not only for the fans but for himself, because this is but it's a journey.
Ben, and he received the Valiant Award. Was it last night or is it 2 nights ago now?
2 nights ago, yeah.
Literally, man, my timeline it blends together now. Being furloughed, I don't even know which. Today could be Tuesday. I really don't know. Today's Tuesday. Yeah,
I get it.
So he got that, and I thought that was a really nice thing that the association did was, it's awards and stuff. Like, it doesn't seem like he's really like cares about like what the critics think or what the Hollywood press think or anything. He doesn't really care at this point, like for the Snyder Cut at least. But for him to get that award, it was really nice to see him speak directly to the fans and say, this was actually yours, right? You guys raised $500,000 for suicide prevention. You guys did this. You guys did that. So that was really nice.
Absolutely.
Really nice to see.
It was, and it was amazing. And it's you can only just really just honor the man for the work that he's done in that regard, and the position he's been able to put all of the APs in to be able to help and show up just the same. That's amazing.
Yeah. So when after March 18th, does that Twitter stay up? Is that how that works? Like keep going with it?
There might be a couple of people who don't watch it right at midnight on the 18th.
True.
So we want to be able to reach them and make sure that it'll be here on the 19th and the days afterwards as well. So log in, get a prescription.
I always find it funny because like I still see the King of Queens Twitter active. That show's been gone for how many years? Kevin James,
the
King
Kevin
of
James
Queens,
one.
Twitter.
Who is running that account? Listen,
that's what I'm saying.
As a social media manager myself, I feel very sad for that person. But also that might be one of the best gigs in the game, because here you have an established brand and you can do whatever the hell you want with it because you aren't promoting anything new.
It's
Literally.
So you kind of got free reign to do whatever.
And it'll be like it's King of the Queens Thursday, and like they'll post like a little clip of Carrie and her dad, and I'm just like, this is still happening. I still see this on my Twitter feed. How is this possible? Oh God. But my Lord, so what? I just had a question too, and I completely lost it. What was it? Go ahead, Jack.
I don't know if this is a spoiler or anything, but is there an idea what time it'll be out in the United States? Because you said midnight. Is that?
I have no idea. That is a random time.
Confirmed. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
No, it's not confirmed.
Yeah, it's not confirmed.
12.
It's just a random time just to start the day.
Yeah.
That's something that they won't tell anybody. Like that's the people that are like that work on getting it to the people. They're the only ones that probably know.
Yeah, no, I have zero insight into that.
Okay. Because when you said midnight, I'm like, oh, did we just get that scoop?
No, because they've already said that but when they say midnight, they mean Pacific.
Yeah.
So 3 a.m. Like, because they've already said this, that it could potentially be midnight for Pacific time, because everything's in Zack time. When they talk about the Snyder Cut, everything's in Zack Snyder time, which is Pacific time. So that would be 3 a.m. our time. That's how WandaVision comes out. So it's not a stretch to say that would be true, but we don't know. It could release. How was the Wonder Woman marketing? Did you?
No, that one I didn't work on, unfortunately.
No?
That's all of our theatrical marketing team.
Okay.
Because that's DC Films at that point.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That makes. I knew that. Honestly, I already knew that answer, and I still asked it. Like
no, I was still kind of curious because I was wondering, like, with the Suicide Squad, now that we know it's going to be on both HBO Max and theaters, so that would not be you guys.
Zach, where was Zach last night?
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Whose show was he on? I guarantee it's a YouTube show. Because he's so generous, except I've been trying to get him on for a while now.
Yeah.
His agent was like, he's really busy. And I was like, yeah, going on other people's shows.
Come on my show.
Come on. He went on the vodka stream. I thought Ray Porter was on last night. But
I saw Ray Porter last night.
So he must have made a surprise visit. And he went on the vodka stream and said it's going to be midnight Pacific. All right. So listen, you guessed right.
There it is.
So that's great.
A random arbitrary time.
Yeah, that's what time I've been saying as well, just because that's the one that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
So are you gonna watch it right at midnight?
For me?
Well, where are you
Oh.
actually? You're in California,
In
right?
California.
Yeah, I'm in California.
Are you gonna watch it right away and kind of get into it, or?
Yeah. I'm gonna be up watching it with the fans. That whenever it comes out, whenever
All right.
time it drops out, I'll be up watching it and engaging with the fans.
All right, yeah, we'll be here. So feel free to stop on and let us know what you think. Just say hi. We're inviting everyone on that day, so if you want to come say hello, you're more than welcome.
I'll probably be in the midst of a big social media war room, kind of like the ones you see
a war room.
all the presidential shows.
With the
Twitter wall over here.
There's lines drawn to like
the Reddit streams.
You know what? That's something I didn't even ask you. Are you just doing Twitter? Are you handling multiple platforms?
Every platform.
Every platform.
Really? Wow. That makes the bandwidth a lot bigger.
Oh yeah.
That's a lot. Even if you were just doing Twitter for those multiple shows, that's still a lot of work to do. And I would imagine you're not just putting the same post on every platform. I would imagine you're individual.
I would.
I would too. I would too.
It all depends. It all depends. Sometimes we do, if we think it's a piece that'll fit audiences on each platform, but every platform has its own audience. Facebook it has a much older audience. Facebook is old millennials and up.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, so you definitely, okay, that makes a lot more sense because we've found this problem where our Facebook is really hard to get engagement on. Like, just we have a lot of likes on it on the actual page, but engagement's always really low. Except on Twitter, it's really high. So is that kind of how you look at it as well? Like marketing to Facebook, like you just said, is a little bit different because the audience is a little bit older and they're less like they won't their attention spans are different than on Twitter.
People have attention spans on Facebook. You just have to be able to draw them in, right? Okay. So Facebook is the home of is where your long form content goes. You can have those 5-paragraph rants. You can post a 20-minute video. Facebook actually would prefer that you post longer videos. Yeah. It gets more attention. There's more eyes on it, people watching. And photos. Facebook, the algorithm loves selfies. So those things will always get more engagement. And so obviously the way that you would engage on Twitter is differently because Twitter is just like a rolling chat room. Where everyone's just yelling into the void. So what you said can come and go. It can go as quickly as you typed it.
Exactly.
So you have to be able to be a lot punchier on Twitter. You have to be a lot wittier. You have to really have something that draws a reaction out of people. So it's different. It's different platforms, and the way that people interact with them, the age of the people, the demographics and things. So no, you definitely have to approach each platform different.
Yeah, I've always looked at it as what I think a user is looking for on each platform, right? Or what type of person would be on each platform. For example, Instagram's where you see all the models. Facebook is, like you said, you'll see the longer videos. It's a lot of dudes trying to. A lot of them do like comedy type stuff, right? They'll make videos and skits and stuff like that. Whereas Twitter is just, like you said, it's just a straight chat room. And we're just everybody's just going. We're back and forth. So it's good to hear that we were kind of on the right track.
The only difference for me between Twitter and a chat room is that no one's tweeting out ASL.
Yeah,
that's the only difference.
Yeah, I remember that those days.
That's all. At the end of the day, that's all it really is.
Yeah.
Go ahead, my boy.
Go ahead. I wanted to ask you, in terms of like your interactions with people on social media, do you report to the higher ups like what's trending? Like, oh, today Henry Cavill Superman is trending. Today, such and such is trending. Do you guys do that, or do they have their own analytics? People who do that?
That's definitely a part of the job and things that we do. Those are we have to. We track those trends to help us know what the conversations are, what people are talking about. Are people enjoying what we're putting out? Do we need to pivot? It all goes back to that. We're fan centric. We have the service of the fan, so we want to make sure that everything we're doing is connecting. So we definitely pay attention to all of that. Which is how I found you guys. You guys, reached out to us, messaged us on Twitter, probably never expecting me to actually respond back to you.
Not at all. No, and honestly, I'll completely be honest. I said it and like I thought it was gonna go to the void, right? And I said it knowing that I would actually like to talk to you, but it probably wouldn't happen. So like, when you say something on a social media that like, I don't know, it's a throwaway line, right? It's not gonna happen, but you still say it anyway. You're like, maybe it will garner some sort of like funniness to someone or and then you actually reach out. So I appreciate you doing that because it shows that Warner Media is willing to like at least entertain the fact like, all right, you want to talk? Let's talk. Yeah. Right? Like
absolutely.
We would like to engage with you. Like
at the end of the day, I would think that any studio should want to, reach out to their fans, talk to their fans, engage with their fans. You guys are the reasons we have jobs.
Hell yeah.
Without you guys, we can't do what we do. So,
but you guys have, I think, gone above and beyond. Even AT&T, like I see them replying to fans with memes, with GIFs. I'm like, no one does that, but you guys are doing that. It shows me that it's not like you guys are just marketing a product. You know the product. You know how to respond to a fan with a GIF or something like that. And I love that. I love that you guys are at the forefront of it because now it's more fun. It's less impersonal.
Yeah.
And that's what social media should be. Social media should be fun. It shouldn't be an ad roll.
Right.
Yeah.
We can go anywhere else in the world to soak up entertainment and be bombarded with ad rolls. So that's a huge part of me as a storyteller. That's a huge part of what I focus on. And I want everyone's experience with every account, that every title, every movie, every TV show that I work, I want their social experience to be enjoyable. Like I want them to be like, oh man, that's just a funny account, or that's a deep account, that's a real account, or whatever the case, whatever the qualifier or whatever the account it is may be.
And that's that personality you were talking about earlier. And I see now that I'm like, think of it, it didn't click until we actually got into this conversation, but I see it often with like random companies like Wendy's or like it's especially Wendy's.
Wendy's does it.
Well, Subway's good too.
Listen, and I love the Wendy's account. I love the Wendy's account.
It's hilarious.
If you're a Doom Patrol follower, we've had conversations with Wendy. Shout out to Wendy's,
Great, I love it.
Shout out to Wendy's. We've had conversations with Subway on the Snyder Cut account.
I love it.
But
I see those and I literally can't help but cry laughing.
Yeah, they're out here roasting customers and talking shit. It's hilarious. I love it.
Listen, I think that every company and brand needs to thank the originator behind this, and people don't realize who it is. But the first big brand to really do that is Hamburger Helper.
Really?
Oh, really?
Hamburger Helper account was the first one. They had the Helper. They put out a mixtape before Wendy's put out a mixtape.
Wendy's has a mixtape. Hamburger Helper has a mixtape.
The Wendy's mixtape is kind of fire.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you. You might be able to drop a bomb on that one.
Stop! You're gonna,
What?
But Hamburger Helper was patient zero. Was the first case. They were the first company to just say, "Forget it. We're just gonna dive head first into the culture and see what happens."
Wait,
and
who did the mixtape? Who? They just got some random artist.
Some black woman did it.
Oh man, I would have got a Future for it. He already did Dirty Sprite. Might as well get him for the Hamburger Helper, right?
No. So they probably didn't want it to be someone known, so they could say that was actually them.
Yeah.
So it's not Future as Wendy's. It's Wendy's, right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be Wendy herself.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, that's hilarious, and that's
it's on Apple. It was on Apple Music. I'm sure it's still there. I'm sure it's still on.
By the way, guess where we're going right after this?
My word on my mother's soul. On my way home tonight, I'm listening to the Wendy's mixtape.
It's classic. I mean, so what if you don't mind me asking? What are your like? I'm sure this job has been has been awesome for you.
Oh yeah.
But I'm sure you don't want to stay just doing this. Is there something you could see yourself doing in the future with Warner Media, or maybe a goal that you have to try to get somewhere?
Are you still climbing that ladder?
Oh yeah. I mean, every day. I mean, you come in and you work towards that next level. You work towards, obviously doing your job and to the best of your ability. but nobody wants to be, stagnant in the same position. And, I'm lucky to be at a company where upward mobility is a thing and it's attainable. And, there are things that are put in our, put in our place that we could achieve at, milestones to get to where we want to go. So
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's what's up.
So is there a next
level? I mean, I want to run the studio one day.
Okay.
My man. Hey, by the way,
that's my goal right there. Trying to be like Entourage.
Right.
Yeah.
we are a good we're good Entourage people. So just remember.
Okay, so who's who? Which one of you is who? Who's who?
I'm not.
I'm Ari. I'd have to be Ari in this.
You have to be Ari.
Who's the most ambitious one out of the Entourage? I didn't watch Entourage. I'll be honest with you.
Did I. No, I'll be Marky Mark. I can do that.
No, you have to be one of the actual Entourage. So in this scenario, I'd be Ari because I'm the one that goes on to run the studio.
All right, whoever's the biggest D-bag, that's me. That's me for sure. 100%. 100%.
Oh, man.
No. But it's always been a dream of mine. Like your job, when I look into it, is probably like a dream of mine because I love doing this. I really do. I love doing this, and I love engaging with people. I find it intriguing, and I've always wanted to do something like that. It's just like you don't know how to go get it, and I'm, you know what I mean. Then you were like, yeah, I just applied. That's it. I just applied, and they called me.
I might be a little bit modest in that. I did have a little bit of experience. I said a little bit of experience at a marketing agency. My good friend of mine helped me get into the marketing agency. He used to be the voice of the FX show Atlanta. So he's taught me a lot of just how to build personas and things of that nature. And a lot of what he taught me and how he built the persona for Atlanta on social is exactly what I use to build all of the personas for like Doom Patrol, Snyder Cut, all the other shows that I get to work on. So he advocated for me. He helped me get my foot in, and just been pushing forward ever since.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
There's people out there, that like. So you work these accounts, right? And they're already established. So you get plenty of engagement, right? There's plenty of back and forth, whatever. I know people, I've seen people, I know people that like chase that, right? They chase it like a high. They chase it like a drug, that engagement, right? Social media can be a dark place for some people. Mm-hmm. Some people get lost in it. So you're living the dream to a solid number of people. You are living the dream. You really are. Remember that sometime.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm definitely happy and love where I am. But I would say to people who do chase that as a high, it's fleeting. It's fleeting. Yeah. It's so many more real things going on around you to ground yourself in, over grounding yourself in people through a screen that you'll 99% of the time never meet in your life.
That's right. Absolutely. Very true.
So there definitely has to be a balance.
Yeah. There's a balance for everything. There really is.
Wait 1 second. Okay, so this is a question I'm pretty sure I don't know if I should even ask this one, but I will, just because it is from a person that engages a lot. So and I'm not saying you're going to be like, well, I can't answer that. I don't think you know. So Edward Arnett asked us. So at Edward Arnett 3 asks, question for Warner Media. That's why will there be any kind of ideas to make spin-off shows for any certain DC character on HBO Max besides the one we already know that have been announced? Thanks. Which, again, I don't think is something that you would know or that anyone knows.
No, I just honestly wouldn't even know. I'm not involved at that level of discussions. Yeah, things come to me. Things trickle down to me as they do, as far as like new shows coming out. Pretty much at the time they trickle down to the public. Because I'm so far down on the totem pole on people who make the show happen. Being in marketing, marketing, you come in at the marketing is the tail end, right?
It's after it's been greenlit. It's after it's been produced
and edited and.
That question is for hypotheticals,
right?
You deal in. We already know these are coming, and you're hyping the crowd up for them.
Yeah, which is why I wanted to make sure I did ask it. He's a good person, and he engages a lot.
Fair question.
Yeah, it's definitely fair question.
So is Stargirl considered a under your umbrella? Because Stargirl's a weird kind of show where it's on the CW, but it's also on now it would be on HBO Max, right?
Yeah.
Well, so on the CW, to my knowledge, the CW universe is separate from like the DCEU and what we see. I mean, we'll obviously you can watch Stargirl,
yeah,
but it's not a Max original. That's definitely that's a CW title, and over there.
I was always I was always interested in that because Stargirl, they say, so Stargirl, it's more tonally and it looks more like Titans and Doom Patrol, but it airs on HBO Max, but it also airs on CW, and it doesn't look like any CW show like The Flash or anything like that. So it's really confusing to me.
It's kind of like that weird medium, right?
Yeah,
I haven't actually had the chance to see it yet. I'll be honest with you, all of my Max originals keep me so busy, and catching up on that content. I haven't had the chance, but it is definitely on my list.
You got a lot on your plate.
It's not it's definitely aimed at a younger audience. So, it's good for what it is, but it's you're not going to go get no Chris Nolan twists in there or anything like that. So, CW is definitely so. Is it a little bit weird? Because for Warner Brothers, I would think that they have this side of they have the CW Arrowverse, if you want to call it that, but now they're trying to create a home on HBO Max for DC characters as well. Do you think, as a person, do you think that that's going to cause a problem, or do you think that fans will know to separate the two?
I think fans will know to separate the two. I mean, we're talking about comic book fans are extremely elevated in their way of thinking and navigating things like this. Like a comic book fan is going to know immediately, oh, Stargirl and Doom Patrol, yeah, they're both DC characters, but they don't exist in the same universe.
Yeah.
Like, these fans are going to know that. I have no doubt in my mind the fans are going to know what's what.
Because I mean, Ezra Miller did show up in Grant Gustin's Flash in one of the episodes for Crisis. So technically it's connected at the farthest points
of the multiverse.
Of stretching it to the core, right?
Before the rain breaks.
But so it's just interesting. I really hope you get, because they're doing a lot of, so they have the Gotham PD show coming for Robert Pattinson's Batman. So hopefully you get a little bit, so you get that, because that's going to be an HBO Max original.
That's weird that you brought that up, because I was going to ask you about that. Are you hyped for Robert Pattinson? Do you think he can handle Batman?
You know what? It's going to be fun to see, if anything. Like I do, this is an interesting story, right? If I'm not mistaken, they're going back to the start of Batman, where Robert Pattinson is. So it's super young Batman. And we haven't seen that generation of Batman, so it's a new story, and that's what I like about it. So I think that we're definitely going to see. I think he can do a good job.
After I saw we watched Fandom, I actually watched it with him here. We watched Fandom, and not even the trailer itself, but Matt Reeves talking about the movie and talking about his process with it and the whole nine. That's what really got me hyped for this, because Matt Reeves, he seemed like he put some real passion into it, and that's where I got that's where the hype came from. And then he was the one who informed me about the show possibly spinning off of it, and now I'm really all into it, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah,
it should be good. Yeah.
So we do have Krypton Caged. He's a really smart person. He's a really a really talented individual, and he did want to ask you a question. I figure I could just put it up here. So how do you guys plan to market Zach's film or Zack Snyder Justice League to the casual audience, someone who has no idea what it is? How would you go about? So say if I was someone who had no idea what the backstory on Zach's film was or why it's coming out, do you guys have a way of marketing to that person?
Yeah, of course. So your campaigns are always multi-tier. We have our APs that are obviously talked to in a much different way than the core fan that just loves a good story, that just loves a good action movie, that just loves Zack Snyder's vision and may not know anything about superheroes. You know, I think on a core level, everybody knows something about Batman and Superman, no matter how old, young or old you are. I think it's impossible to exist in this world and not know Batman, Superman, and that it's a DC comic.
Yeah.
So on that alone, you know, nostalgia is a very powerful tool.
It really is.
Yeah.
And just you think just across generations, there's been a Batman and a Superman show. I think pretty much in every decade.
Yeah.
Going back to even beyond Adam West's Batman. I think Adam West was Batman in the 50s, if I'm not mistaken.
60s, yeah.
60s, yeah. So even and you know, he wasn't the first person to play Batman. So there's every generation that's alive right now has some familiarity with Batman and Superman.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think part of the best way to market it, I found, to telling people, just all you have to do is watch 2 movies. You know, with Infinity War, I remember I had to tell people you got to watch like 20 movies. And I'm like, look, to watch this movie, Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, that's all you have to see. And I think they've done, at least I've noticed on HBO Max, a big push. You know, they put the Ultimate Edition of BVS, not the theatrical cut. They've been pushing Man of Steel, like, you know, when you go to the DC page, so that anyone who hasn't seen those movies or wants to revisit those movies, they don't really have to do that much preparation.
No, it's right there
to
for
watch
you.
this movie. And
Definitely.
I love that it's on here. Yeah.
Definitely, it's right there for you. But I think that, you know, you reach those people in some of the more traditional ways of the times, you know, Facebook ads, Twitter ads, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube pre-roll ads, you know, things of that nature, just to really drive home, hey, this is a new superhero movie. But and then, you know, your trailers are different. You cut trailers different, just depending on the audience and where it's going to be. You know, some action you may do here, or, you know, you may cut it a little bit differently because it's going to be on. This is going to be for an ad for a particular place. So it all just depends on the demographics. A lot of detail, a lot of research goes into it, but definitely.
But I think that trailer piqued a lot of interest from people who weren't quite sure what this was. I mean, the reaction online, it was trending on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube. It was just crazy. People were then like, "Wait, what is this?" Exactly,
and that's the sign of a good piece of art, right? Like that's the sign of a great trailer. You know, that trailer was cut beautifully. You know, it was amazing. It garnered the attention of fans and people unfamiliar alike.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know, based on I want to just go off what Billy just said. That comment he just brought up. Marketing is an important thing because, you know, if we're talking about somebody who doesn't know anything about this, like you said, Marcel, chances are you're going to know Batman and Superman. But hypothetically, you don't, right? You literally know nothing. Marketing is going to give you your first impression, right? First impressions are so important. I don't care what it is, people, places, things. First impressions matter. And that's what marketing does. It gives people their first impressions for things. And it's a major part of whether or not there will be asses in seats when it comes in theaters or on stream in this particular case.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's very important. I guess every at some point in time, everything that we do is being marketed. Right now, you're doing marketing for Cartoon Network with that hoodie. You're doing marketing for Nike with the hat. I'm doing marketing for HBO Max and Twitter, you know, with my hoodie, you know, whatever the logo is.
Oh, yeah. That is an HBO Max.
Yeah.
I can get me one of those.
Is that like a company exclusive thing? Or
yeah, this was got this from the good people over at Twitter.
Okay.
They sent it over to me. So give a shout out to the good Twitter people over at Twitter.
That's what's up. That's cool. I like that.
And it's like at the end of the day, branding is marketing. You know, brand recognition is marketing. The Batman logo on the wall, the Infinity Gauntlet you guys have back there. All of these things are made for marketing purposes. Marketing is what drew you to them, and marketing is what has you having those things on the wall, and you're in turn marketing that back to me and everyone watching.
Yeah, and then this is the biggest one now is everybody's phone, right?
Yeah.
So you become the marketer, right? By sharing, retweeting, mentioning. Be careful what you don't be infringing on any copyrights, because we've seen that that's become an issue with Zach's films. And they're taking that more seriously now, and I think they will be going forward for most things, because the internet's becoming a place that there are problems with it. There aren't problems with it, right? So like the content creators, they're finally like saying, hey, listen, you wouldn't steal a copy of the film and then give that around. So please don't use our intellectual property. So and they're taking that seriously. So did the official trailer do well according to the expectations? I'm interested in this question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
If you know anything about it, if there were expectations beforehand, did the official trailer, in your mind, do better or equal or less?
So all of those things are confidential. I can't share any expectations or anything like that. But I mean, I'm very happy with I'm very happy with what the trailer has been able to do. I'm extremely happy.
Okay. Yeah,
that's interesting to me that they keep that confidential. What the expectations were. That's interesting.
Well, yeah, I can see why though, because that has to do with other things. But
that's interesting to me. But that also shows that they actually care about the property.
Yeah.
Right? And fans everywhere, that means a lot, because there is a lot of questions as to whether or not the big wigs actually care about Snyder's verse. I don't. But there's a lot of question whether or not they do, right? And that's where that question came up earlier about whether or not they're if they're even involved in marketing. Are they even trying to market it? Are they even pushing it? Things of that sort. So that shows that they do care.
Of course,
yeah.
Every from the top down, everybody at the company cares. Like it's a priority. You don't green light a movie of this magnitude and not care.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But listen, I do want to say we're like 3 minutes away from our cut time, so I do want to say thank you so much for joining us today. I know
good time.
that especially right now, it's been hard for a lot of people to take time out of their day to do stuff like this when there's so much going on at the actual job. Right, right now is a real crucial time for HBO Max because it's still in its infancy. People forget. You're still in its. You're very much.
Hasn't even been a year yet.
Hasn't even been a year. You're really making the push, but you guys are doing a really good job, and I really do from the bottom of my heart. I thank you for being like who you are. What you do is amazing, and I hope that we can have another talk one day soon, and we get to talk to you more.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. You guys got my ear. Always send me a message. You got my email.
Yeah.
So
there it is.
We're gonna because I definitely want to get to that thing behind the stage. So I'm just gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna wrap it up because I got things to find out.
I forgot about that.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads, and become a Patreon Corner member. It's only $5. Wow. Guys, we'll see you next time.